Taplin and you're watching the Press Review. Tensions have gone up a gear in Ukraine as men armed with automatic weapons take over two of the country's main airports in the south. Crimea has become the focus of attention in the latest stage of this escalating crisis, which has so far seen over 100 killed and has resulted in Ukraine's elected president Viktor Yanukovych being driven out of office. Ukraine's interior minister has gone one step further, citing the armed men as Russian troops. On Facebook, he wrote, "I consider what has happened to be an armed invasion and occupation in violation of all international agreements and norms." Russia has denied they have any involvement in the airport occupation. Meanwhile, Russia is likely to use Crimea as leverage for an upcoming discussion with the IMF and in the G8 for a possible bailout to help Ukraine's ravaged economy. But Russia has already stipulated that it will hope to provide aid to Crimea separately in the negotiations. A Western diplomat in the Ukrainian capital, Kiev, said this to the Financial Times. The Russians are clearly already treating Crimea as a separate entity from Ukraine with their own foreign policy for it and, in the very least, they are using Crimea to gain leverage over Ukraine's future, recognizing that without control over Crimea, the new leadership in Kiev can't so easily sign the agreements with the EU. However, sources tied to the Kremlin say this is more to do with keeping Russia's interests in Ukraine, whilst trying to find a way to peacefully end the recent violence and to help restore order to the country. Ukraine's acting president Alexander Turchynov has called on the UN Security Council to help with protection. Well, that's all from the last press review of the trading week. Join me on Monday where I'll be talking about derivatives and swaps with my next guest. But for now, have a great weekend.